Hi, this is Raman, your tutor from Alberta Real Estate School. In this video, we'll take a look at what is Dower Act. This is a video that I recorded while I was tutoring a student. So let's take a look. Dower Act protects the rights of untitled spouse in the matrimonial home. Okay? So basically, it applies when there is one person on the title. So this title that we are looking at, there is one owner on the title. Okay, if this person is, so three things have to be true for Dower Act, Dower rights to apply. One, there's only one person. So let's say you go to talk to someone and they're interested in listing the property, right? The first question is you pull the title. First question you would look at would be how many owners are on the property, right? So here the title will show you how many owners are here. In this case, there's only one owner on the property. So in this case, your second question would be, is the owner of the property legally married, right? Even if they're separated, technically they're legally married. So in this case, if the owner is legally married and either spouse, either the husband or the wife have lived in the property since the time of the marriage, then Dower Act would apply. Okay? So in this case, what we would have to do, that we would have to get a Dower consent signed in order to list that property. We would have to get consent or agreement from their spouse in order to list the property. This person cannot just decide to list the property and sell the property and not basically kick out the other spouse, right? That's why in order to protect the rights of untitled spouse in a matrimonial home, this Dower Act was created. So Dower Act will apply in a legal marriage and where there's only one spouse is on the title, and it only applies to the matrimonial home, right? It doesn't apply to any rental properties. It doesn't apply if the property is owned under a corporation. It doesn't apply if a person is in a common law relationship. It doesn't apply if the person is single and not married. It doesn't apply if both people are on the title, right? It doesn't apply in that case either. So only applies when the person is legally married, either spouse has lived in the property. So in that case, Dower Act will apply because it protects the rights of untitled spouse in a matrimonial home. Representation agreement. So when we go to list somebody's property, this is the written service agreement, right? This is the written service agreement they will sign. So for the seller, it's called exclusive seller representation agreement. For the buyer, it will be buyer representation agreement. So when we go to list somebody's properties, one thing that we will ask here will be Dower consent, right? We have to ask these questions of the person. Are you legally married, right? Separated couple also included in this case. And then have you or your spouse lived in the property since the time of the marriage? So if the answer is yes, then we need Dower consent needs to be signed. Okay, so purchase contract, Dower consent, this is what we'll have to get signed. So we'll have the address of the property, the purchase contract that was signed, and basically here, consent of spouse. So the person who's not on the title. So let's say my husband is on the title and I'm not on the title of the property. In that case, I would have signed this. So this is acknowledgement by spouse that, I'm okay with, or the spouse is okay with selling. So this is known as Dower consent. So it only applies when one person is on the title and it's a matrimonial home and they want to list their house. So the person who's not on the title, so I'm not on the title, I will sign this one. Right? Plus, they will have to do this at the lawyers as well, because lawyer wants to, and usually you cannot go, like I cannot go in with my husband to sign this. Lawyer will want to see me by myself to make sure that I'm okay with selling my matrimonial home, right? I'm okay giving consent. I'm not being threatened or pressured in any way to give the consent. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like some extra help in preparing for your exam, I invite you to visit our website at www.albertarealestateschool.com, or you can give us a call at 587-936-7779. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.